Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fat Jocks. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for coming on down. If you like the show, go over to Apple Podcasts. Help us out. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a 5-star rating. Subscribe on YouTube. If you got any questions, send it over to fatjockspod@gmail.com. That is, once again, fatjockspod@gmail.com. Mr. Brian Vokey, what the hell did we talk about today?
This is a jam-packed episode. I'd say this is 10 pounds of gold in a 5-pound bag, wouldn't you, Bruce?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is one we get into a lot. We get into Shohei Ohtani, Vladimir Guerrero. We get into the Portland Trailblazers hunt for a new coach. We talk about the Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals for the NBA. The Olympic roster has been announced for the NBA for basketball, and Kevin Love is on the team. Why? Beyond me. I have no idea. We reminisce about Kelly Olynyk ripping Kevin Love's arm right out of the fucking socket in a opening series back in the day, and why I will always love Kelly Olynyk for doing that move. We get into Carl Nassib coming out as gay. We're hoping it'll open the door for all these buff gay guys to get in the NFL. Let's see it. We love it. Mexican soccer stadiums no longer allowed fans for their international games for a few weeks because of some allegedly homophobic chants from the audience. Do you think it's fair to punish the Mexican national team because the fans are acting weird? You decide. We just report. Is that somebody's slogan? That's gotta be something.
That's yours now.
We report, you decide? No, it's Fox News. We got all that and a whole bunch more. Enjoy the show, folks.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
This fat son of a bitch. He's fat.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
He's fat.
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
He's fat.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
I quit coffee last week and it put me in a fucking hole, dude.
You quit coffee?
I quit coffee.
Why? I tried to quit coffee today. I not even tried to quit. I didn't have any coffee yesterday. And then today I didn't have coffee till late. And I slept for like 10 hours last night because I was fucking exhausted. But then I had to take a nap today.
Yeah, I listen, the first week off of coffee is remarkable. If you drink like I drink like 24/7. In my family, the Vokies call it cutie. By the way, have I told you that we have a whole language? We have words for everything, mostly just vulgar words.
Bam Margera made his own language in rehab. You hear about that?
I'm sure what our language is not nearly as fucking entertaining as Bam Margera.
Yeah,
but he like made up like articles and vowels.
he made up like an alphabet.
Yeah, see,
and then he started rapping in that tongue.
Is it like a language that's easier for somebody with no teeth?
Yeah, but it's mostly like heartograms and like logos of the hymn band.
It's just it in different angles.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, quitting coffee has been brutal, dude, because there's like I don't know if it's dopamine or serotonin. One of those receptors is triggered by coffee.
Yeah.
And so not only do you get splitting headaches because when you drink coffee, apparently it restricts the blood flow through your veins. And then when you stop that, it's just this giant logjam of blood just flushing to your brain.
Oh, damn.
So
what about to your pants, dude? Is that going good?
That maybe that's never. I mean, I've been hard since 5th grade.
Yeah, you come from good stock.
Yeah, dude. No, but here's the deal. I got fucking depressed. I didn't expect that. I knew the headaches. I remember my mom quit coffee right around this age. My mom quit coffee for tea, and I did the same thing. So I didn't have tea. I weaned myself off cold turkey with the coffee, and then I jumped on the tea. But I was like, dude, it was like I was like in that. Remember that movie where Richard Lewis is like, is that the comedian's name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that movie where he's detoxing on booze? Mm-mm. I just feel like I was in a room. I feel like Major Payne. Have you seen Major Payne?
Yes, I have seen Major Payne. Now you're speaking my language.
When he's like, I haven't killed in 3 days, you know, and he's just rolling around on his apartment with the shades down, just like on.
What's the reason why you trying to get off the good stuff, off the cutie?
It's not the good stuff because my anxiety is just so terrible and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And also I have the crash in the afternoon. So I'm trying to be productive for I'm starting a very busy job. I have 2 podcasts. I'm trying to do stand up, and I'm also trying to film a short film that I wrote. And I'm also trying to do like 6 episodes of a solo kind of talk show thing with the public access equipment. So I just got so much on my fucking plate that I can't afford to crash. And the coffee was just a vicious cycle of giving me 2 hours of intense productivity and then like 4 hours of just dozing off playing Call of Duty on my phone.
Yeah, that's good. That's the good stuff, though.
Yeah.
That doze off Call of Duty mobile. That's where the real action's happening at, dude.
You gotta have yourself a reckoning when you got a lightning strike of gray hair looking at you in the mirror and you only have $4,000 in the bank account. You're like, listen, some habits need to change. All right, brother, you need to get going, get while you can still get. Because my shoulder hurts. I'm in physical therapy for my fucking.
You got the Cruella going on.
What Cruella?
The Cruella DeVille stripe.
Yeah, I got the Cruella DeVille stripe.
I was in the fucking great state of Texas this weekend. There are some dumb fucking folks, man. I was in a play. Now we're talking about controversial. There's fucking, I was in Texas this weekend, and holy fucking guacamole. It was at a bar. This woman pulled out some baby skunks out of a bag. Yep. She was like, "Yeah, I've rescued all kinds of shit." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think you start with skunks, woman." That's what I wanted to tell her.
Also, I want to be like, why don't you go ahead and tell me what rescue means to you? Because it sounds a lot.
It sounds a lot like imprisoned to me. Yeah, dude. I mean, I haven't flown on a plane in a year, and since last February, right whenever fucking shit shut down, I hadn't flown. And man, these fucking people. I was on a Frontier flight. Jesus Christ, dude.
Did it literally feel like you're on the Frontier? Was there,
dude? These people wouldn't have lasted a fucking second on the Frontier. I'll tell you what, right now, dude. Dude, it was, man. I had to. Something came out of me, dude. I was trapping people on the plane from fucking jumping out of their seat. I was throwing my bag down, making sure everybody followed the rules, dude. Pieces of shit.
You were trapping people.
I was trapping people. This dude sitting next to me, this fucking guy sitting next to the window, kept trying to get up whenever it wasn't our turn to get up, and so I fucking turned sideways and pretended I didn't see him.
Get off the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, you set a pick.
Yeah. I set multiple screens on each flight that I was on this week. I was just fucking putting, dude, I would have flopped if someone bumped into me. I'll tell you what.
LeBron style.
Yeah. If somebody would have bumped into me, I would have just, and fallen back, dude.
Yeah. Complaining to the flight attendants looking for him.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that? Oh, I'm getting some miles.
2 blankets right now, free.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking selling water bottles. Who the fuck are you? All right. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. It's like Woodstock 99.
Oh, God. Yeah. With the same amount of fucking death and other shit.
Yeah.
Hey, but we are talking about basketball. Technically, we're talking about picks. We're talking about setting stuff up. Brian, you're pretty. Hey, Brian, I heard you're pretty pissed off about this Olympic roster.
I'm not pissed off about the Olympic roster except for one person who made the team. And I'm going to go ahead. I have the roster pulled up. I'm going to read it to you. I want you to guess who. Oh, shit. Did I lose it? Hold on 1 second, baby boy.
Is it Kevin Love?
Yes.
I saw Kevin Love being added to it, and I was like, I haven't heard the name Kevin Love in quite a while. But you got to understand that Kevin Love is probably only on the team because somebody else said no.
But when you look at he plays power forward. It's one of the deepest positions in all of the NBA. Did Julius Randle say no? Did Giannis say no? Did Zion say no?
Well, Giannis can't play. He's not an American.
Okay, fair enough. But what about the other 2 motherfuckers?
I don't have anything to say about them or their Americanness. I just don't. I think that if you're pissed off about Kevin Love getting on there, I think that I don't know about Julius Randle, whether he said no or anybody else who said no, but I would just guess if I had to guess.
Kevin Love was not even the best power forward on his own team. He was outplayed for parts of the season by a guy named like Isaiah Hartenstein or some shit like that. There was
not a lot of Steins throwing the ball up very well.
Yeah, Dean Wade. You ever heard of these guys?
No, not at all. Obviously, I think that
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah. But he's played on the team before. Kevin Love.
Yeah, I know he's played on the team before.
Well, no, I'm just asking. Is there any kind of thing like that where they're like, hey, this guy's been here before already? Probably has already won a gold medal for the team. Maybe we throw him an invitation before any of these other guys.
I don't know. Listen, I'll tell you this. I think he's a good guy. Like Kevin Love is one of those dudes who really mobilized money for the arena workers. when
Yes.
when everything was shut down. So I got no problems with Kevin Love as a person. He's related to Mike Love, who gave the funniest Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction speech in the history of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction speeches. I strongly suggest you watch the Beach Boys get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dude, Mike Love cut a wrestling promo.
Oh, really?
He called out Bob Dylan. He called out the Beatles, saying he was better than all of them. It's one of the most amazing things you could ever listen to.
Have you ever seen the Beach Boys live?
No.
I saw the
house with playing with Uncle Jesse.
That was pretty cool. I liked that. That was really good. I saw the Beach Boys live at the Kern County Fair one time, and I was on just a tiny bit of mushrooms. And you've been around me whenever I've been on mushrooms. Some dark things will start flowing through the old noggin up here. So all I could do was watch them, and I couldn't hear the music. All I could think about is that they might have been involved in the Manson murders. There was a real dark energy around them. I'm having a chocolate frozen covered banana, and I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Wasn't Manson locked up in Kern County?
He was no. I don't know if he was actually locked up in Kern. Yeah, no, he was locked up in Corcoran, I believe, and then he died in Bakersfield.
Yeah, so you think they paid him a visit on the way in there?
Dude, I don't know what was going on. I was watching them and I was like, dude, these guys were around. Who knows what they had going on? I couldn't enjoy the music. Dude,
I told you I produced a pod for a murderer. Well, he says he isn't, and I've met him, so I'm going to take his word for it because that's who I am. So I'm
what I do.
Accused murderer. I produced the podcast for him, and we found out he's locked up in Corcoran or wherever the fuck he was locked up, and one of the hosts was smart enough to remember that Manson was there, and he's like, "Hey, did you ever run in with Manson?" And his whole demeanor changed. He's like, "Manson was a punk. Manson was a bitch, because he did whatever I said. If he want, yeah, it was like nuts. He was like, and he said that he started using Manson's girls kept visiting him in prison." And he started using them as mules to like run like drugs and shit. And I think they got one of the. I think he said that he got one of the Manson girls to bring a gun into the prison or something.
Dude, if you've got a gun in prison, you're probably like the king of the world.
Yeah, but it's like it's like a bee stinger, right? It's like you only get to use it once, and then it's
Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry, I took you off topic here with my Beach Boy story. Get back to Kevin Love here. Mike Love is his uncle.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying I think Kevin Love's a cool dude, and he's a part of one of my favorite playoff basketball memories ever, which was when Kelly Olynyk ripped his arm out of his socket. You remember that? Yes. He just dislocated his shoulder and took him out of the playoffs. I was like, that is fucking Celtics ball right there.
Yeah, see, you're such a flip-flopper. You're the biggest flip-flopper in the history of sports, because you're always like, basketball's better now because they're not fucking pulverizing each other. You're like, my favorite basketball memory ever is Kevin Love getting his fucking arms
misconstruing my points. No, I love the bully ball. I love all that shit. I love watching highlights of Kevin McHale straight up clothesline some dude on the Pistons and break his neck. But what I'm saying is that's not good basketball.
Okay, all right, dude. I'll excuse myself.
Basketball is better now, but that doesn't make it more entertaining. I mean, like Floyd Mayweather is one of the best boxers ever. A lot of people didn't like watching him, because he wasn't juicy like the fucking bad boys from the Pistons were, or whatever.
It's fair.
But watching Kelly Olynyk rip his arm out of the socket, and not only did they rip his arm out of his socket in the first round, but also there was not a snowball's chance in hell that the Celtics were ever going to get the fucking Cavs out of it. It was so unnecessary. It didn't change the series at all. The Celtics still either got swept or in 5. So like it was completely pointless.
It's like the coach told him to go out there and do a fucking backbreaker on the guy.
Yeah, dude, it was like a New Orleans Saints move.
Yeah, he's like, hey, how about you pick up Nate Robinson and drop him on your knee?
Dude, I didn't know that Chris Benoit fucking put his knee in his wife's back and broke her back as part of killing her.
I didn't know that either. I thought he just tied them all up in the Bowflex.
No, he only killed himself with the Bowflex.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think he shot his kid and like fucking like literally put like a finishing move on his wife.
Yeah. I mean, he did that move for so long where he literally just jumped off the top of the arena and hit his head on the other guy.
Yeah, I watched the documentary on and they briefly mentioned the 3 people who famously had that finisher. the fucking skull drop. I don't know what the fuck you call that
it's
thing.
literally the atomic headbutt or something.
And I think all three of them died young, I think, and all three of them had real sketchy post wrestling or ended their career lives like addicts and just complete CT nonsense.
Do you think that they ever had anything with the Bowflex was ever like, we gotta do something here because we can't have this be the best advertisement we've ever had?
I don't think it was a big enough story because OJ got the Bronco off the market.
Oh yeah, huh?
It's got to be a big enough story. But dude, is OJ's number retired in Buffalo?
32?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
That is like such a hilarious troll jersey. All the trolls have that jersey.
Yeah. The OJ Buffalo Bills. No, Sonorise Perry. Sonorise Perry. He wears 32 in Buffalo.
They got a 32 currently?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
In 2019 they did.
So their retired numbers are
they might have unretired. Oh, his jersey is retired at USC. Okay, here we go right here. So Bills let a player wear the OJ jersey for the first time in 42 years.
So they only have 3 retired numbers: Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, and Bruce Smith. All badass motherfuckers, dude.
Sonorise Perry's told The Athletic, I thought it was retired, but then I was told it was available. Boom, I took it. Holy shit. Okay, so your biggest beef with
but the team
Kevin
is
Love,
stacked, though, dude. Have you seen the roster?
The team is stacked. They're missing Harden. Harden's going to play.
Well, I don't know if he is now. His hamstring is fucked, dude. I bet he'll pull out. But they got Damian Lillard, they got Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, Harden, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Chris Middleton, Kevin Looney, Draymond Green, and Bam Adebayo.
Is Halliburton playing for them? I thought I saw his name on there too.
Tyrese?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I mean, depending on what happens in the playoffs, this roster will change.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I mean, it's not all the best players. It's clearly missing a ton of people, but it's missing, like, I believe the top 3 MVP vote getters. Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. Well,
yeah. I mean, they're still gonna go just.
But they didn't win it last Olympics.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't win the gold. Who? Basketball, men's gold. What was it? Was 2016, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. They did.
I don't think it's possible.
Well, I thought
2016 was whenever DeMar DeRozan tried to do that 360 dunk against China. Do you remember that shit?
Yes.
That was truly one of the funniest things I've ever seen. There's an article that I had just pulled up right here, which is DeMar DeRozan on his missed 360 dunk. What the hell was I thinking?
Oh, I know.
They're up by 50.
I saw what I was thinking. What I was remembering. It said that in 2004 they brought home the bronze.
Yeah, see,
2004.
Fuck that.
2004, I was so checked out of the NBA. I couldn't have given a shit about them then. I missed all the Tracy McGrady years.
Yeah.
I never got to see him as good. I didn't start paying attention really until the Big Three happened. That was what brought me back to basketball, when Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen.
The OG Big Three.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Did you watch that? Were you watching that net? We were both watching. Yeah, that Nets.
Yeah,
Game 7.
Man, Budenholzer is a bad coach in my opinion. As far as they kind of deserve to be out, but
they were so defeated, it seemed, even whenever they ended up winning. But it's like they were down by like 2 and they were playing so defeated that entire fourth quarter, that entire overtime.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason the Bucks are in the conference finals is because everybody was hurt and all the role players stunk ass for the Nets. Because as far as fourth quarter adjustments, and like Giannis is just not equipped to be a playoff basketball player. He just is. He's a regular season stud.
I was so shocked whenever he went back to Milwaukee rather than linking up with somebody else.
Well, the one thing I like about him is that he doesn't like that shit. He wants to do it organically or whatever. But I mean, when they signed Drew Holiday, that was a big. I mean, he's been all the difference for them because Chris Middleton gets to just focus on scoring. And Chris Middleton was their stud. He was the star. of that series for them more than Giannis. I mean, Giannis in the first 3 quarters was the star, but as far as anytime the fourth quarter mattered, it was all Middleton. So I just thought the Nets were a mess. That's what happens when you put all your chips into 3 players. Although, I mean, Claxton, Griffin, who's that backup point guard they have? He's actually pretty good. Chandry or whatever, and then Bruce Bowen or Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown.
And Jeff Green and Joe Harris, they've all had incredible moments throughout the season.
Yeah.
So they were actually, I felt that they were like a much better version of what the Lakers were trying to do. The Lakers had shit around them, and they had Schroeder, LeBron, and AD, and then everything else was shit. And I thought the Nets were, they were more built to handle an injury than the Lakers were. But with Harden at half speed, I mean, I feel like Harden should have just sat out.
Yeah, I think he was. If Kyrie was not injured, I think Harden would have sat out.
But it wasn't like he was really. I mean, he did hit a clutch 3
that way off that backboard 3. Was super sick. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm happy. During that game, I was like just kind of enjoying the game. I was like, I don't really give a shit who wins this game. It's just a good game. But then after the Nets lost, I was realizing that it's actually very probably good for basketball right now, which you would say kind of the opposite about other sports probably, but it's good for basketball right now to not have any of those like top 4, top 5 dudes in the finals.
Right. Well, that depends on whether or not Kawhi comes back. Because Kawhi he is a definite top 5 dude. And
maybe more or less the teams, the Lakers,
Guess how many combined NBA titles make up the conference finals this year?
Between teams or players?
Yeah, between the teams.
So we got the Hawks, we have the Bucks, we have the Clippers, we have the Suns. I would say less than 5, and it's probably only that it's less than 5, maybe only that Suns won.
The Suns have never won the championship.
I thought they won it with Shaq.
They absolutely did not win it with Shaq.
Oh, they went to a finals with Shaq, I think.
No, they didn't. They only went to the finals in the 70s with Paul Westphal, and they went to the finals in the 90s with Charles Barkley, 93.
I know that the Hawks haven't even like been to this far in 50 years. The Bucks, I think the Bucks won in like, maybe is it only 1? The Bucks?
It's 2, brother.
The Bucks won in like 70 something.
Won with Lou Alcindor before he was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then 1971, and the Hawks won in 1958.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I think it's good to have these 4 teams in it. And then I don't know.
I think it's awesome. Also, you get Devin Booker on the screen. You get Trae Young. I mean, Atlanta is just a bad sports town for some reason. I don't understand why. I don't know if it's the fact that it's like got like a Las Vegas, Los Angeles type of thing where half the people living there are not from there. I don't know if that's what the problem is. But Atlanta's just a tough sports town. I mean, you got more Braves fans outside of Atlanta than you do inside of Atlanta often. And it's hard for them to sell out stadiums. So Trae Young wasn't going to get the attention he deserved if he didn't make this run. Devin Booker is such a fucking stud. And also you got Chris Paul, who's been around forever, but this is only his second Western Conference Finals. So
yeah, I'm pulling for the Suns
finals. Like if you're not going to have the Celtics in there, I couldn't have picked a better one. I'm rooting. I actually got a horse in the fucking run in this one. I want ATL all the way. I want the Hawks to win. First NBA game I ever went to was an Atlanta Hawks game. That's a lie. Actually, it was the Celtics. But third or fourth NBA game I ever went to was the Hawks.
Yeah. I think the only NBA game I've ever been to was the Clippers game with you.
Oh yeah. So I've seen the Clippers, I've seen the Hawks, and so fuck the other 2. But I want Chris Paul, I want Trae Young, and I want the Hawks to win. But I would not be upset if Chris Paul got a title.
I'm definitely pulling for Chris Paul at this point.
I basically just don't want the Bucks or the Clippers. That's essentially all that's really how I feel.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe about the Clippers, but then I'm kind of like, who gives a shit? Like Kawhi's already won.
George, like fucking after all the years of criticism, everywhere he went, he had criticism. Like when he was with Indiana, they said he was inconsistent. And then when he went to Oklahoma City, he couldn't shoot all of a sudden. No, I think that Paul George shutting everybody up, being a 2-way star, averaging like 30 plus points. Terrence Mann's coming out party, fucking Rajon, throwing back the way back clock, dude. I mean, I don't even hate this Clippers team. The only team I really just don't like in the finals is the Bucks. I don't know. I mean, I love
I'm the same way where there's just, the Bucks. There's just something about them where they play they play very defeated a lot to me.
They're just,
what do you wrote down here? Best landing spot for Ben Simmons. You think Ben Simmons is on the move?
I think they're getting rid of Ben Simmons. They have to. He was such a liability in the playoffs.
Do you think they're going to get rid of him before Karl Anthony Towns? Or is Karl Anthony Towns already gone?
Timberwolf.
Oh, okay. So they were talking about Karl Anthony Towns coming to the Trailblazers. Okay, Karl Anthony Towns is gone. So you think Ben Simmons is out of there? You think he's going to go to the Trailblazers?
Karl Anthony Towns go to Portland?
Blazers haven't made a big move yet, but that's what everybody was saying is that this is the offseason. They're definitely going to give Lillard somebody to fucking play with.
Yeah, they got to get rid of Nurkic, as talented as he is. Karl Anthony Towns is the shit. If I were Karl Anthony Towns, I would not leave because the fucking talent bubbling up in Minnesota is pretty crazy with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. But I think that the best landing spot for Ben Simmons, you got to look at the league. You got to say because he's such a weird person. He's a 6'10" point guard who can't shoot and can't hit free throws, but can play vicious defense and can get you boards.
Yeah.
So where does that fit in best? In my mind, the Utah Jazz. I think because right now their point guard is Mike Conley. Mike Conley, historically one of the best defensive point guards in the modern era, but he's old. He's 35, 36 years old. He's going to be on his way out. He would be playing next to you got a Jordan Clarkson and you got a Donovan Mitchell who can really fucking score. And so they already showed that it's a successful formula for them. They're a defensive-minded team. You got Rudy Gobert at center, who's Defensive Player of the Year, and you got Mike Conley, who's a defensive-minded point guard. If I were Utah, I think he fits in there. I think that's the place to go.
Yeah, and Utah really is kind of like one star, bigger star kind of person away from really being it.
Yeah, dude. Donovan is so legit. So yeah, I think that's the one that makes sense to me. I don't know what they have to give up, but I would not give up Jordan Clarkson, and I would not give up Donovan, and I would not give up Rudy Gobert. But anything else I would get rid of. I mean, Bogdanovich could go.
Yeah.
Joe Ingles could go, and all these guys are really imagine if the Sixers had a Joe Ingles or a Bogdanovich where when they kept going fucking ice cold and they have somebody who can shoot the fucking lights out of the arena. I mean, it would have been a huge deal. It would have been like when the Spurs got Danny Green.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, I've never had a basketball team per se. I've always kind of rooted for the Lakers a little bit, just being from Southern California. But being up here and like watching more basketball with a lot of Blazers fans and at like Blazers bars and shit, I've been fucking. I just love Damian Lillard, and so I'm all in on the Blazers, dude.
Yeah, Dame Lillard is one of the most lovable players in all of basketball. Also, huge boxing fan.
Yeah, there's always rumors of somebody going to the Lakers. People think that he might skip out and go to the Lakers, but I hope not. Portland's looking for a new coach right now. Apparently, the top three is Chauncey Billups, Mike D'Antoni, and then Becky Hammond, the assistant from the Spurs.
Dude, the fucking Lakers are like the Drake of the NBA.
They really are, and it's like I love LeBron, but
past their prime and nobody cares anymore. Just shut up.
Hey, Drake's still good, dude.
Shut up.
Dude,
it's played out.
I won't hear any Drake slander, okay?
It's like, stick to the cartoons, LeBron. You're done. You're toast. Your knees are over. You stink. You've always stunk.
I mean, always stunk.
Well, he's the second greatest player in the history of the league, but that,
And are you saying that behind Larry Bird?
Oh, dude, behind Danny Ainge.
Yeah, behind Danny Ainge and whoever you just said ripped Kevin Love's arm in half.
Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah. Who would you rather have? You want Chauncey Billups? You want Mike D'Antoni? Or would you want who was Lillard saying he wants? Jason Kidd?
Lillard wants Jason Kidd. I don't think you go with Jason Kidd, although I do love that one time he dumped that cup of water on the court to get an extra timeout.
Yeah, but would you rather if you're not going to get Jason Kidd, you'd rather get someone like Chauncey Billups, who's a little bit more in that realm of former player?
Has Chauncey been coaching? I thought he was a media guy.
He's an assistant somewhere. Where is he an assistant? Or Mike D'Antoni? Who would you? Or Becky? You want Becky Hammond?
I don't know anything about Becky Hammond.
So Billups is an assistant for the Clippers right now. Becky Hammond, I just know she's a assistant head right next to Pop in San Antonio.
I gotta say, right now, with the way the Clippers are performing without Kawhi Leonard, and the fact that they've come back from 2 different series in this playoffs, they were down 2 games in both rounds.
Yeah.
Their ability to come back without Kawhi makes me think they're a very well coached team, which makes me want to go with Chauncey Billups. Seems like he's probably coming out of a better environment. I don't know anything about Becky Hammond, so I don't know.
I just know that it would be a very, like we were saying a little bit before the podcast, it would be a very Portland move.
Yes, it would.
Who knows? I don't know, man. I don't know if the world, it's not even my own sexism speaking. I just don't know if the world is ready for a female head coach in really any major sport right now.
I don't give a shit about that. The only reason I think the world's more than ready for a female coach if she's good enough to do the job, and I'm sure that exists. I just literally don't know anything about her resume. Is she the Spurs assistant?
Yeah, she's right next to Pop. She's like she's coached a few games whenever Pop was out.
I must have missed that. Well,
she played in the WNBA in 1999 through 2014.
Well, who was supposed to be the next Pop? Who was right under Pop before her? It was Budenholzer, and he's a bum. He's just not a good coach as far as I'm concerned. So I don't necessarily trust that. It's like the Bill Belichick coaching tree. It's not the greatest coaching tree.
Yeah.
But
it's like he produced what's his name? McDaniels is under the coaching tree, and he's a stud. But hasn't really proved himself as a head coach really yet.
He's been a bum as a head coach. He drafted Tebow. He stinks. They all stink. The guy over in fucking Detroit bombed. The only guy who's doing well is Brian Flores, and Matt Vrabel's doing good actually in Tennessee. So I mean, Flores and Vrabel, that's 2. But as far as Becky versus D'Antoni, I'll take a fucking bum over D'Antoni. He sucks dick, dude. He needs to be an offensive coach. That's it.
We were just saying that. Didn't he just get fired from New Orleans?
Stan Van Gundy got fired from New Orleans.
Oh, sorry. They're always around, I think.
Yeah. He was last coach of the Rockets, I believe. I think that's the last team he coached. I don't know where he went after that. I don't know what he did, but he's a fucking bum. Get rid of him. I'll take Peggy over him any day of the week. I think the world's ready for a female coach. I just don't know if it's her. I just don't know who it is.
After I said that, I was thinking more about it and more that the sports is moving towards analytical stuff, and that maybe a chick would be not a bad move.
Yeah, Vince Lombardi, I think like a experienced modern woman would do better in a locker room than Vince Lombardi would right now. Yeah. Vince Lombardi considered the greatest coach, but I mean, it's not like you can fucking beat the shit out of the players anymore, or it's not the military anymore the way it used to be. It's a different culture now.
Yeah. What about I think this is our last basketball thing we have here. Dave Portnoy is trying to get Charles Barkley to come over to Barstool. Dave Portnoy around chat. Hey, Charles Barkley, I suddenly have $60 million laying around.
$60 million just so he can make fat girl jokes.
He tweeted right here too. He said, "I pledge."
Who tweeted this?
Portnoy. I pledge that if Charles Barkley works for me, he can call the women of San Antonio fat and gross as much as he wants.
See, the American dream is not dead. It's just on the internet. You just got to get a lot of shit for it. But that, it's so rare that you read news and you go, what a beautiful world. But Mike Portnoy offering $60 million so Charles Barkley can call the women of San Antonio heifers. That's what the forefathers meant.
Yeah.
That is what they meant.
Yeah. That's what's the word? Manifest destiny. That's what they meant. Manifest destiny is Charles Barkley being able to call women whatever he wants on Barstool.
And Dave Portnoy would hire, if there was a woman with a huge following from San Antonio who was calling all the men from Alabama little dick motherfuckers, he would hire her and pay her $60 million. He's just a cool dude that way.
Yeah.
He lets people say what the fuck they want. But I love this. I love what these players are doing where they're like purposely blowing up their fucking dumb office jobs so that they can go to the internet. Like Paul Pierce, you're telling me he didn't know what was going to happen when he fucking started smoking weed and having strippers. He knew he was trying to get out of a fucking contract. He had a fucking morality clause. He got out of that. Now he can go to the internet, make a shitload of money, and just be Paul. That's exactly what Charles.
It's podcasting opened up this lane for everybody.
Yeah, people want to hear honest, unfettered, and it's not even honest. I hate that. I just bought into a fucking bullshit Joe Rogan narrative. No, Charles Barkley has probably fucked more women in San Antonio than the average man who spent his entire life in San Antonio just by being a basketball player. He probably has had beautiful women in San Antonio. He doesn't mean it. He's just fucking kidding around. And also, when you call the women of something fat, you're not calling it's not like he's like, hey, Deborah, you're a fat heifer.
Yeah. And he even said that. He said, I wasn't talking about anybody specifically. I was just down in Texas this weekend. There's some big women.
Yeah, there's big women all over this country. You know why? Because there's a Denny's in every fucking town.
Yeah, there is.
So I don't understand. By the way, I can't actually say that on pod. I'm trying to clean up my act here.
Hey, down there's a Waffle House too, man. I tried to go to. This is a big news.
The Waffle House that I recognize as an authentic Waffle House is in Amarillo.
Okay, I tried to. I'll tell you something about unauthentic Waffle House. I tried to go to a Waffle House this weekend, fucking 3 a.m. after I had quite a few tequila shots of George Clooney's Casamigos tequila. Not sponsoring the show, but can't recommend it enough.
Clooney owns Casamigos?
Clooney owns Casamigos. Best tequila there fucking is. That's what I'm
saying.
saying, dude. Best fucking tequila there is. Owned by the Clune dog. I tried to go to a Waffle House this weekend at 3 a.m. Guess what fucking happened? Fucking lights out, dude. Nobody's home. Closed.
A Waffle House was closed?
A closed Waffle House.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. The one in Amarillo doesn't close, and there are cigarette ashes in your omelet. It's done right.
Yeah.
It's the way they got the machine where you put in fucking, now these days it's like 17 quarters and you go gunk, and then the cigarettes fall down.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, they were selling cigarettes at every bar I went to.
Are you kidding me, dude?
I actually went to a good bar out here in Vancouver a couple weeks ago. Unbelievable jukebox. Fucking 75 cents or $1 for like 12 songs.
Waffle House, the best
all
jukebox
country
in the world. Yeah. They got Merle Haggard on there. They got Ornery, Lonesome, and Mean, or whatever that song is. They got that on there. That's how I used to put that on all the time. Dude,
yeah, dude.
Waffle House, you cannot fuck with them. I can't begin to explain to you, because I always hated that Bill Hicks joke, where it's obviously a lie. It's where he's in a Waffle House. You know that joke? And
what you reading for?
And the waitress goes, "What are you reading for?" And he says, "So I don't become a waffle waitress." Fuck you, Bill Hicks, you piece of shit. You don't understand the brain power that is running through the average Waffle House employee.
Absolutely. The average Waffle House employee. I was telling somebody this the other day that Waffle House has the best employees because most of the time they're infighting. They're fighting with each other usually. Or with a customer, but also there's a black chick who, she's probably about 37 to 40 years old, who runs the entire thing seamlessly the entire time.
The amount of information that is being disseminated that is vital, but also wrapped in information that is completely irrelevant, saying so you just give out the order, plus you argue with them about whatever. And the fact that I've never had an order fucked up from Waffle House. Never.
Nope.
And we're shooting out scattered, smothered, covered, over medium, sunny side up. I mean, all this shit they have to shout out. And it's not just our table. It's the 4 people at our table and the 17 people around the restaurant. And they're just shouting the shit out. And the cooks get it perfect. That's why when I've always hated Bill Hicks for that fucking joke. I was like, you fucking classist piece of shit. You really think these people are stupid? Excuse me. My mic got cut off, I guess.
You fucking yanked it.
Yeah, I got fired up, dude. I just You know why? You know why? Because I'm a loser, okay? I'm a loser. I read and I'm a fucking loser. And I know for a fact that I would fall flat on my fucking face if you put me in a Waffle House and asked me to fucking thrive in that environment. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I don't have the short-term memory for it. I don't have the speed. I couldn't possibly care enough to do it. Anyway.
Mad respect to the Waffle House staff.
Yeah, dude.
Will not take any Waffle House slander. So we got before we move on to anything else, we'll touch on the Olympics here for a second. The Olympics here for just 1 second. Ryan Lochte did not qualify.
Shout out to Ryan Lochte.
You a big Ryan Lochte head?
I like a guy who has a record,
Yeah.
Not sports record.
No, I think Ryan Lochte deserves to qualify just based on the scandal.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not familiar, the scandal was he basically did a Jussie Smollett before Jussie Smollett even considered being Jussie Smollett.
He staged his own beating and robbery.
What was the reason for it? He got in a fight or something, or he stole something?
Yeah, I think he was in some trouble and he was trying. I don't really remember. Who knows, dude? Who knows the real story? But it was in Brazil, right? It was the Brazil.
Yeah, it was the Brazil Olympics.
And maybe he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, so he had somebody beat his ass so he could get maybe some empathy. I don't know. It's like in Liar Liar.
Yeah, hey, I'm in trouble. How about you come over here and fuck me up, buddy? Ryan Lochte didn't qualify. They're saying that means his Olympics career is basically over. Big time hats off to Ryan Lochte.
I love that analysis. The guy didn't qualify for the Olympics, so we're gonna assume that his Olympic career.
Well, he's old. He's like 32.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't take a real brainiac to figure out it's over for the boy. But he probably has some Comic-Con or some. Do they have that for swimmers? Like, can you go sign autographs somewhere?
No, he'll just go to Con. Fucking, what are you talking about? Go to Comic-Con? No, go to fucking Con. He pulled one of the funniest heists of all time. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. I wonder what he's gonna do next. I mean, a lot of those guys, you really can pivot into like announcing. You know, if you have a little controversy around you.
Oh, he'll probably do the fucking Paul Pierce, do the fucking Charles Barkley, who this shit. They'll go to Barstool and they'll tell his story.
Yeah, it's the only swim podcast. It'll be hosted by him and Michael
Phelps. Michael Phelps had a little bit of controversy. Not even really, though. Just he was smoking out of a plastic bong.
He was just smoking weed. Leave the poor boy alone.
Yeah, look at Michael Phelps' bong picture. Do I have that fucking available? Yeah, Michael Phelps just ripping one, dude. And I'll tell you something. Whoever took that picture of Michael Phelps, you could suck my dick, buddy. That's what I say. Oh, sorry. It wasn't a plastic bong. It was a roar. That's actually a nice bong.
Oh, man. Let me ask you this. As an Olympic athlete, like when you got those guys like Michael Phelps who do like 4 Olympics, or like there was this track runner, she just made her 5th Olympics. She qualified for the 400-meter dash. If you're an amateur athlete for 20 years, how do you make money?
Sponsorships and whatever. Are you talking about Sha'Carri Richardson?
Yeah.
I want to touch on her a little bit. She's a fucking boss. I don't think this, we're thinking of somebody else because Sha'Carri Richardson is only like 21 or 20. Oh, you're talking about Allison Felix.
Yes.
Okay. Allison Felix. Yeah. She was an amateur athlete, but I think that she's a boss too, but she, amateur athlete. Yeah. I think it's probably all sponsorships. It's probably all.
Can be sponsored as an amateur athlete?
Yeah, of course.
Why you go pro is to get sponsored.
Truthfully, I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I don't even think there is professional swim.
Well, she's not an amateur if she's been in the Olympics since 2004.
Yeah, the Olympics are an amateur event. You can't play in the Olympics if you're a professional, except for some reason basketball. I don't know why.
But also, I mean, these people you get the sponsorships forever. If that means that Michael Phelps is technically an amateur athlete.
Yeah, I don't know the rules.
Apollo Ono was all over the fucking Subway commercial.
Yeah, I don't know. So I guess sponsorships, but who's sponsoring? Like when you got like a guy who's like who's one of the guys who skis and shoots things.
Yeah, I have no idea. But it's probably like whenever we talk to Dallas Evie, he makes all his money fucking getting dogs to fuck each other in his backyard.
No, that's not like that. Like how does the Dallas Evie model transfer over to somebody?
It's coaching. Ben Askren. They probably coach people. $50 a shot. Tell you how to run.
Here's how you ski and shoot. That is absolutely hands down the most boring sport that you could ever watch.
Yeah. And it's funny because on paper, it sounds like it sounds incredible. You're skiing and you're shooting, but then you put it all together. It's fucking terrible.
That's got to be one of the guys that like or athletes that you want to be in an Armageddon with.
Yeah. I don't have enough information right now about Sha'Carri Richardson. I ran out of time whenever I was looking stuff up, and I'm sorry because mad respect to her. Do you know about Sha'Carri Richardson?
No.
She goes to LSU right now. She's a fucking baller. She looks kind of like she's like this is a terrible thing and it sounds like I'm very uneducated, but she looks like she's like one of Megan Thee Stallion's friends. And she fucking rips it, dude. She is fucking incredible. She's beautiful. She's fucking balling out. Like she's like taunting. She's the shit. Next week we'll talk about her more because I want to learn more about her because she fucking rocks. She's in the interview. She's fucking, somebody mispronounces her name. She's like, it's Sha'Carri. Like dude, she's the fucking boss. I love Sha'Carri Richardson.
Sha'Carri, it's Brian from the Washington Post.
Dude, she's the shit. I'm gonna learn more about Sha'Carri Richardson. I'll tell you that much right now, partner.
Okay, well, a little teaser for next week in the business.
All right, so move over a little bit here. Tom Brady. Did you hear about Tom Brady? This guy? You heard about him?
Yeah, so I heard they let Chelsea Handler in the barbershop.
They let Chelsea Handler in the barbershop. Not sure how this happened, but Tom Brady was on The Shop. This hasn't come out. This comes out on Friday, so we'll have more information about it there. But Tom Brady, this is a good teaser, good move by whoever put this together. Tom Brady talking about going through free agency last year on the preview, and his reaction to hearing about an unidentified organization choosing their current quarterback over him. He said one of the teams, and they weren't interested at the very end. And Brady said, I was thinking, you're sticking with that motherfucker? ESPN's Diana Rossini reported at the time there were only 3 teams realistically interested in the running. There's a 43 of the 43-year-old services, the Chargers, the 49ers, and the Bucks. So now,
well, we know who that
folks are speculating that it's old Jimothy Garoppolo, Mr. Gabagool himself.
Yeah, Mr. Porn Star Banger.
Yeah, dude, that's the guy.
Yeah, and it turns out Tom Brady was right. They were not sticking with that motherfucker. Dude, San Francisco must be so pissed at the fact that they could have landed Tom Brady, who's a hometown kid from San Mateo. They
could have landed Tom Brady. They could have landed Aaron Rodgers, maybe.
They still could land Aaron Rodgers.
Is that still a possibility?
Oh, it's looking like he's not.
More and more. You got anything to say this week about your boyfriend?
No, I got nothing new to say other than I'm emotionally preparing for him to be gone. And I think the fan base
is that why you're trying to quit coffee and trying to get your life in order? Is because you really, this is how you judge your life as in eras, the Brett Favre era, the Aaron Rodgers era, and so you're moving into a new era. You gotta make some self change here.
I'm moving into, God, I hope not the Drew Lock era. Jesus Christ,
Drew Lock. Oh, you're saying a trade?
Yeah. If they, here's my prediction is that Aaron is gonna hold out and maybe miss 1 or 2 games, probably play the rest of the season with Green Bay, and then be gone next year. That's my guess. Because
you think he's gonna hold out for 1 or 2 games just to kind of show that he could?
Yeah, and the fact that the ownership has they're just absolutely fucking insanely stupid, and that every week they come out and say something disparaging towards him, and it's just the way that they're managing this situation. Just how many athlete management skirmishes do you see in professional sports where it's the management coming out and saying the sloppy shit? It's never this way.
Yeah, it has. Green Bay's been very sloppy with it.
Their executives have been so insane, and Aaron has been super diplomatic. Now, who knows what's going on behind the scenes? I could never know, and we'll never know. But as far as how you look in public, like that management tried to pretty much say that the fan base is turning on Aaron. And to be fair, the older generation is people like my father. They always side with the executives. The Republicans love the billionaires.
Your dad's pissed at Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. He has a whole shut up and play mentality. He's always had a shut up and play mentality.
He takes the Laura Ingraham angle.
Yeah, he absolutely does. You get paid millions of dollars, just shut up and go out there and freaking play. But don't you want to win? I don't understand. Like, at what cost? Like, anyway, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm emotionally preparing for him to not be the quarterback for at least opening week, and definitely not next year.
All right.
So
you hear about it. This is the Cole Beasley is full blown anti-vax.
Yeah, and I think he took the bullet. That's what it sounds like to me.
He took the bullet for the rest of the people who don't want to do it.
It sounds to me what I watched that interview, and he followed up that post. Or no, he didn't do it on video. Did he? Tweeted it
From his notes app.
From his of course. Like he was
classic. Like he's a comedian being canceled.
Yeah. But he says that there's a lot of other guys that feel this way and they're not going to speak up. And it's like typical slot receiver. I mean, this is a guy who has no problem going across the middle and just getting his fucking face smashed in. He's like, you know what, guys, this is what I do for a living. I take a beating for a living. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out and I'm going to speak on all of your behalf. And I'm going to take all the shit myself. I thought it was just a nice slot receiver move to go out there and take that hit. I really did.
That is a very funny angle of looking at a slot receiver.
I think that I think there's a lot of people in that locker room and many other locker rooms who are not vaccinated who don't want to catch the shit. Cole Beasley said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it.
You think that this is going to make more people come out and do the same thing?
No, I don't necessarily think that, but I think that he took it on the chin, and I think that he's probably got mad respect walking into that facility from all the people who don't want to get vaccinated and it's not even like a racial issue. It's not an intelligence issue. It's the fact that like these are guys who monitor every milligram of every vitamin and mineral they put in their body. So it's different for them. Their whole life, their whole profession revolves around their diet, what they put in their body. So they're going to be inherently cynical.
Yeah.
Vaccines, especially if they already had COVID or they didn't, or, they're not going to really potentially have any problems with it. They're not in a problem area. They're not at risk. So I personally, I got vaccinated as soon as I could. I fucking pushed a World War II veteran right off his walker so I could get it. Because I was worried I wasn't going to be able to fly. But I totally get why the mindset of a professional athlete. I'm a fucking slob. I'm at risk. My triglycerides are through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
So, but
what Cole Beasley doesn't monitor is his fucking phone battery. Cole, come on. You're at a fucking 25% when you put this thing out. Get real.
China does a social, that social credit score they do?
Yeah.
You get a credit score based on your personal life and your behavior.
Did you do yours?
No, one of the factors is battery life. They monitor
on your phone?
On your phone. If you're like the type of person who always has a low battery, it lowers your social credit score because you're seen as irresponsible.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Oh, that's not why you're fucked.
All right. Well, hey, okay. So speaking of coming out and taking one for the team here, what do you think about this Carl Nassib? He came out as the first active NFL player to ever come out as a homosexual gentleman.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's great. I believed you when you texted me that he had been released.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Seriously, I thought I was like, well, if any organization would not lose a single fan,
it's going to be the Raiders.
It's going to be the fucking Raiders for cutting a guy for being gay. But here's my two takes on that. First of all, I thought it was cool that Saquon Barkley, his former college teammate, immediately was like, shout out to my brother Carl. We're proud of you or whatever. I thought that was cool. Also forgot entirely that Saquon Barkley was even a person. What a fucking bust he's become. He has next year to prove it or he's done.
Well, he's crushing it and then he got injured. It was an injury. I wouldn't call that a bust. He crushed it and then he turned into a bust.
Averaging under 3 yards a carry, dog.
Come on. No,
look at his numbers. He's not good. He had one good rookie season. He's not.
And then he was injured.
But before he went out with the injury, he was bombing.
Okay, well, we're talking about Carl Nassib here. Okay,
hold on. It's also the same thing's going on with Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott's, but he's a bust. He's a fat bust. Okay,
I don't know. Saquon has next season to prove it, or he might be a fucking backup for the rest of his career. But I thought it was cool that he supported Carl Nassib. The only problem I had was I pay attention to sports a lot. It's mainly like the reason why I thought this podcast would work is because not only do I pay attention to sports actively, but when I'm disassociating and zoning out from the world, I look at sports news. So I'm kind of immersed in it. And I got to be honest with you. It took me a second to remember who the fuck Carl Nassib was.
Oh, yeah, I'm completely unfamiliar.
I realized who he was after a second once I thought about it. But all the articles are like superstar, Raiders superstar. Yeah. They want it to be like an Aaron Rodgers,
of course,
type thing. And it's like, all right, relax. He's just a regular gay guy. Just like he's a regular gay guy playing in the NFL. It's still a big deal. We don't need to inflate his career. He's a solid player. It's good for the sport because, listen, I live near West Hollywood. There are some NFL looking bodies walking around.
Oh, yeah. I lived in West Hollywood. I went out to bars in West Hollywood all the time. There were guys that if I saw them in a 3-point stance, I would fucking turn the other way.
Dude, there's some Aaron Donald looking motherfuckers.
They're truly
gay neighborhood of West Hollywood.
Shredded. Beautiful.
And if homophobia is the only reason we don't get to see these dudes in action, then God bless Carl Nassib, because let's get these guys in there. Let's get them fucking.
Well, there's a few older players. I can't remember exactly who was one of them on Twitter, where they said that they played with some guys who were in private were homosexual gentlemen, and then
the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I've been freaking saying that for 10, fucking 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I thought you had to be gay to be a fucking Chicago Bear. That's what I was told. I'm not telling you that. That's what they told me.
Growing up, I was told that in a few different terms. I was told that kind of thing. You'd have to be a fuck. No. I was trying very hard to get through this segment. People were saying that back in the day in private, even probably currently now in more in private than. But there's obviously going to be a few guys in the locker room who are not cool with that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's going to be a few guys who aren't cool with everything. I mean, Richie Incognito,
who I think is a pretty fucking cool guy. No, I'm kidding.
Richie Incognito, guess what team he's on?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Holy guacamole.
Carl Nassib is going to have to line it. Carl Nassib is a defensive end, and he's a fucking guard. So Richie Incognito, with all of his American flag tattoos, he probably has MAGA tattooed on him. He's going to have some issues with it. But, like, listen.
And he's going to get run over by fucking Carl Nassib in practice.
But that's what makes sports beautiful. You've got Muslims, Christians, Jews, you've got gays, you've got blacks, you got whites, you got Asians. I mean, you got to learn how to live with each other. And if you don't, you won't make it in the fucking league. I mean, who gives a shit? I was laughing to myself when I heard he came out. I was like, what if this starts a domino? We just find out the NFL is just like an entire
all gay. Everyone's gay. Yeah.
They're all just fucking each other.
Well, that's kind of the same thing with the Cole Beasley thing. Do you think that the complete opposite of the Cole Beasley thing, where this will have more people coming out?
Yes, but I still think like I think the future of gay football players will be players who are born around, who are like in high school now, who will be out before they even get to the NFL.
Yeah.
I think that the players in the NFL, if they're not out now, they probably won't come out until they're retired. But I do think that it'll be more and more frequent with the younger generation for sure. Because I mean, people in the NFL now who are like 30 years old or whatever, they still grew up in the 90s. Like,
of course.
So it's just no matter how much the changes for the younger generation, in their head, it's still going to be the 90s. So I don't know. I think people will start to come out more. I don't know. On that news, should we pivot over to Mexican soccer?
We can't. And we can't. Okay, so Mexican soccer, the Mexican national team is being punished because their fans were yelling out an anti-gay chant, which
what they do?
No.
So when the opposing goalie is about to do a goal kick, they go, you know how in the UGA, the Bulldogs, they go, ooh, sick 'em. Huh.
Yeah.
So when an opposing goalie is about to kick a ball, they go, ooh, puto.
Yeah, and I've been raised around a lot of Latin folks, and I was always under the impression that puto kind of just meant bitch.
I always thought it meant bitch too. I thought maricon was
the bad one,
because that's what they're always calling me when I'm working.
Yeah, and you, me, and you both, brother. There's a million. I could tell you all of them. I won't tell you all of them on the air because But
I used to do a bit about how I've been called that F word in every language because I've had so many labor jobs.
Yeah, I was completely caught off guard because I thought whenever it was an anti-gay chant, I was leaning towards the M word here. Whenever I found out it was puto, I think that just kind of. But now that I'm reading more into it, I think it just kind of is a catch-all word for kind of effeminate bitch kind of thing. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the news is saying that it's a derogatory term for a male sex worker. So yeah. So it's like calling him a hooker or something, a gay hooker,
like a gay. Yeah. And we'd have to get somebody who's more caught up on Spanish than me. I mean, I can get by, but
here's my opinion on all this. Why punish the team for what the fans are doing?
They're not letting any fans into the game for the rest of these qualifiers.
They're getting rid of the home field advantage.
And they fine the team $65,000.
Also, you can't punish change into people. It doesn't work that way. You can do an awareness program, but like you're not going to be able to enforce social change. Also, other countries have their own cultures and they're in different stages of culture than the rest of the world. That's what's so strange about international. But like I get trying to aggressively go against it. Like Europe always has a problem, especially in Eastern Europe with Poland, where they'll throw bananas at black players. Yeah. But do I think the Polish team should be punished for that? No, I think the Polish team should speak out. I think they should be like, if there's anybody on the team who naturally feels like, if there's a Mexican soccer player who's like, hey, if you're saying, I don't know, if you're saying these words, you're not a fan of ours. That's not what we stand for. Do some corny bullshit like that. But as far as like not allowing any like, I mean, like the amount of like father-son time and whatever father-daughter time that happens in a stadium. I mean, that's a big deal to see international soccer. And also, they were playing Iceland. Iceland, there's no way Iceland isn't a bunch of bitches. There's no way.
Hey, father-son time yelling at people, yelling things at people is important. Remember that time we were doing a show in a small town somewhere, and you had walked over to get a coffee, and a man and his son in a large truck came by, and the dad told his son what
he goes, it's a big white truck. We were in Hanford, California. There's a big white truck on a lift kit, and I'm walking down the street going over my set in my head. This white truck, really nice truck, pulls up beside me. The window comes down, and the father goes, "Get him," or "Tell him," or something. And the kid goes, "Fuck you!" And then they speed off laughing. And I walked away from that being like, that is so cute. Like just going out, having a good time, just hanging out. You know how many people don't get that kind of shit with their father?
Yeah, that's father-son bonding where I come from, brother.
Yeah, dude. I was like that. I mean, yeah, no, whatever. But I listen, I'm kidding, but I don't understand. You can't force regular Mexican people to have Iceland standards on sexuality. That's part of international competition. You've got to indulge into each other's cultures. And we talked on the old pod to Mark's, his name Mark, what was his name?
Mark Sanchez. I'm the worst. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
But anyway, we had a Mexican professional baseball player. Well, he's American, but he plays in the Mexican Professional Baseball League, and he talks about how incredibly un-PC the crowds are there.
Yeah, he said that that it's some of the funnest games he's ever played, where here they'll do a kiss cam or they'll do like something, but there they'll go around to like a hot chick in the crowd, and the thing will go woo woo, and then they'll go to like a fat guy, and they'll go ah, like it'll scream. He said they'll go to an Asian guy and it'll play chopsticks on the thing, like all kinds of shit like that. They'll do a kiss cam on two guys.
I live in a Mexican neighborhood, and there's a obesity problem in this neighborhood, and my roommate Jackson was walking to the train station, and he said there was this fat kid walking down the streets, and then just two random dudes in a truck just pulled up beside him and started going oink 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 oink, and then they sped up.
I mean, we could touch on a little bit of baseball stuff here. As you could imagine, spin rate is way down.
Is it?
It's down about I mean, this is the beginning of it. It's down about 100. When I'm looking at the numbers here, 20 down from about an average of 23. Okay, so down from an average about 2330 right now at 2260 and dropping dramatically. It's gone in about a day. It's gone down that much.
Well,
velocity is about the same.
Interesting. So have the runs gone up?
This is only the second day, so I'm not 100% positive.
I would like to see what happened to ERA.
Yeah, because we'll have a better idea of that probably on the next episode. Is that
because I wonder if there's gonna be an adjustment period where it'll be lights out because they were getting so used to the spin, and now they're not getting the spin. It's like when you put in a position player every now and then, and they'll just like strike somebody right out.
Yeah.
So there will definitely be an adjustment period to this, but I'm not surprised. Has Trevor Bauer pitched yet?
I'm not caught up enough on it right now to know. Well, next week we'll have a better, I guess, in-depth idea of the changes that are going on.
Okay, you want to get into the home run derby before we go?
Home run derby. I think all we got really left to close out on is the home run derby here. So Shohei Ohtani is doing the home run derby. First Japanese-born player, obviously first pitcher to be in the home run derby, and he's fucking psyched about it. He's also on fire this week. And there was an article about where it's like, man, it'd be pretty if Shohei Ohtani was playing for a better team, he would be all anybody is talking about.
Yeah,
he's hit a home run in the last he's just fucking.
It's a shame
great.
that the most exciting players in the league right now are on the Padres and the Angels.
Yeah, the Padres are doing fine as far as coverage and whatever, and they're also a great team.
Yeah. But I still don't think Tatis is the household name he should be.
I would disagree.
Maybe I'm wrong then, but Mike Trout certainly. Everybody goes, well, Mike Trout's the best baseball player, but they don't really know anything about him.
No, it's just the obvious answer.
Yeah. It's like saying that that guy whose name is DJ whatever from tennis is the best tennis player.
Djokovic, yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Whatever.
Who
We
gives a
don't
fuck,
even
yeah.
know who he is, but we know he's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like Trout's at right now. But Shohei Ohtani should be like the lead in the ESPYs. He should be like just an absolute celebrity. He should be
Yeah.
on the Tonight Show. He should be doing everything.
Yeah, his translator is going to get a lot of airtime.
Do you think he's working on his English?
I would guess so. Or maybe he's like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to smack home runs and throw the ball fucking 110 miles an hour.
Because
also the home run derby is at Coors Field. I think we're going to see a world record distance home run in the home run derby this year.
Yeah, but there's no Vlad, dude. I'm so. Do you think
Yeah.
Shohei wins it? Is Shohei's pitching right in the
All-Star game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
he's leading now. He's going to pitch and hit. Joe Madden said he's fine with it. Vlad's not doing it, and this makes sense for Vlad Jr.
Why?
The home run derby fucks up your swing. It's all. I don't have the exact fucking printout of the thing, but there's been a million people who have been crushing it the first half of the season. They go do the home run derby, and then they have a very, very average second half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense for Vlad because Vlad's hitting 337. He's like third or fourth with the average. Him and Shohei Ohtani are tied for the lead in home runs. Vlad's leading the league I believe he's leading the league in hits. I believe he's leading the league in RBIs. I know RBIs for sure. So I think that a few years ago, whenever Vlad crushed it in the home run derby, he saw his performance drop off in the second half there. And so he's like, I don't want that to happen again. So.
And the Blue Jays are in the running for a playoff spot.
Yes.
I believe they're in first place right now over the Sox by a game or a game.
And Vlad, he's probably going to play in the All-Star game. I would imagine he is, but he might also just say no to that.
It's interesting. Like, I don't want to. The knee-jerk reaction is to be an old man about this stuff and being like, why do these players need so much rest now, as opposed to where they used to be?
Well, Vlad's actually, he's saying he's not, but then he's kind of saying maybe a little bit. I don't know. I don't think he will though. It would make sense. You'll see more and more people. It's the same thing kind of with the Team USA thing. You're going to see more and more people saying no to the home run derby.
Right. And also maybe it has to do with the game is more intense now. Everybody's better. So it's harder on your body.
Yeah.
The other thing also is they're not on steroids anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, and back in the day in the 80s and 90s is probably, steroids' main function is to help you recover.
Yeah.
So, and then
that's literally the whole, obviously it makes you jacked, but it also, the recovery is the big thing.
So I'm wondering if that's why, but it's interesting because there's a lot of people who are proposing that all the rest for players right now is why there's so many injuries. Like the rest just makes it so that when you have to gear up and play at, top.
Well, Bauer was saying that Bauer doesn't like the rest. He wants to pitch every fourth day.
Yeah, Bauer is saying that. Like, he's the only player I can think of as saying that. Everybody else is like a talking head who's like, the reason why Kawhi is always hurt is because he's always resting.
Yeah.
And that his body can't handle that like up and down of extreme activity versus inactivity. I don't know. I have no opinion, but all I know is that Vlad is part of the future of baseball, and baseball, if it doesn't fuck up, has a ton of young stars.
And I remember, if anybody remembers, for episode right before the baseball season started, I was a big Vlad Guerrero hater, and I said that Vlad Guerrero was a bust and that this season was going to prove that he's a bust. And I've been forced to eat my own pubes.
Yeah, they're all doing good. Bichette's doing good.
Blue Jays are rocking it, dude.
Yeah, Biggio's getting on base. I mean, yeah, Blue Jays are rocking it. Is this the what is this?
This is if there's not anything else that you want to close out on, I have a thing to close out on here.
Four guy?
No, Suns and Four guy. I actually did want to talk about that guy.
Yeah,
the Suns and Four guy. Me and you have talked about this before. Me and you both love stadium fights.
Yes, big fan.
And so me and you, I don't remember if it was me. I think it was me and you agreed with me. I had said before that my theory on stadium fights is whoever is higher up always wins. And the Suns and Four guy smashed that theory.
Yeah, because if you know how to fight, like shorter fighters beat taller fighters all the time.
Yeah.
And if you can allow somebody who's above you to lean down when they're throwing a punch and all that weight is going downward, and if you can get out of there.
Oh, that guy played it perfectly.
Yeah, you got to get out of their way and land a belly shot.
Yeah, that guy, the Suns and 4 guy. Devin Booker kicks ass too by buying that guy tickets.
Yeah, I mean, that is the great. I mean, again, just like Dave Portnoy picking up offering Charles Barkley $60 million. The fact that this guy isn't outcasted for being violent or whatever, the fact that everybody's hooking him up, makes me feel, like things aren't totally lost.
Yeah. So this guy right here, there's a I don't know what you would call him because streaker isn't the right word because he has all his clothes on. This game would seem, I can't quite tell if this is a Mariners game or if this is a Rockies game, but check this fucking dweeb out. This guy's a guy running on the field. He attempts to run off the field and then he's stopped by somebody in the crowd.
Interesting.
You watching? You got this?
Yeah, I got it. Wow. That's like AJ Hawk, dude.
Yeah, so this guy, he comes off the field, jumps directly over the wall right here, and then is completely laid out by what looks like a fucking teenager or somebody in the crowd. And it's like, what are you doing? You fucking dweeb? You fucking narc? What are you stopping the guy?
I love it, dude, because he probably is about to spill his drink. Probably
no way. You watch this. This guy comes out of nowhere. Watch this.
I mean, dude, listen. Here's the thing. This society is such a helicopter safe society. Everything is so boring now, and you're not allowed to have any kind of outlaw energy. So when you have that one chance in your life to just fucking lay somebody out and know you're not going to get in trouble, you fucking take it.
See, I completely disagree. I think you should be on the side. What are you on? You're on the side of stadium security?
No, I'm on the side of cheap shots. I love cheap shots.
No, I think that guy's a fucking loser because he's on the side of stadium security. That's my entire deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was thinking about getting that guy arrested. I think he was like, "This, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna hurt him." I think that's the only fucking thoughts that was going through his brain. And I admire.
See, I view that guy as some kind of dork police explorer.
Snitch.
Yeah.
Damn. Did you say Dora the police explorer?
No, I said a dork police explorer. You know a police explorer?
No.
They're like ROTC, but for cops.
They do that?
Yeah. JRTOTC. Police. They don't go out and like patrol. They just like do community service and shit. It looks good on your record, so you could be a fucking pig.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't see that. All I saw is a guy jumping into the stands and somebody taking their free shot. I mean, it reminded me when AJ Hawk took out. Remember that?
Yeah, whenever. But that's funny. You're on the field. Yeah, you may know that's funny to me. Because in that point, you're messing up the rhythm of the game. But in my mind, if someone's running on the field, I'm like, fucking hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, you don't ever walk around just with that "I wish you would" feeling, and then somebody finally does, and then you can.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's I'm still conflicted.
Yeah, I wish you would.
I wish you would.
So you can.
That's great. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening. I love you. Goodbye.
Adios.